Okay, thank you, coach.
You disappeared. Last time, maybe 2 or 3 sessions you were not there.
Yeah, of course. I had some issues, but now all are fixed, and I'm there.
Okay, that's nice.
So, the time is there. Okay, it will be just just almost the same time as this. 6 p.m. This is my time, right? It will be at 3 p.m. UTC. Your mic Dan, please.
Okay, sorry. So I'm saying it's supposed to show you your time zone. So if
Yeah,
you see, for example, 6 p.m., that's 6 p.m. at in your local time.
yeah. I'm saying thank you.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Did you, Sami, did you see the link in the chat? Or you're not able to see it? Oh, sorry. This is not the link. This is not the link. Let me send it again. Can someone send it? I need to go again, Luma. In case you have it, you can just reshare
Yeah,
it.
okay. Let me just share.
Okay, perfect. Let's give people 3 more minutes before we start. And today's session, I want you guys to be like very reactive. If you have any question, if you have like any add-on or anything, it's kind of a discussion. So give me a thought. If you know about and if you have like experience in other maybe chains, that would be good. But yeah, um, let's wait few minutes, maybe 2 minutes. We'll start. Thank you guys. I can see the links. Perfect. Yeah. Welcome, Yannick. Okay, let's get started. Let me share my screen. So, hello everyone. My name is Dan Baruka. I think there is no new face here, so I think no need to present myself, but we'll do have other people in the YouTube. So my name is Dan Baruka. I'm a developer advocate at Intersect Open Committee. Um, my job here is to help new developers and new members um, to start contributing on open source project at Intersect. So yeah, the today's call is about the topic. I mean, is the default developer environment for Cardano. What is the default uh, environment a Cardano developer can choose and why? That's what we are going to discuss about today. And the session is already online. So in the DevEx portal, I'll share the link. You'll see I'll share the link in the chat. So after this session, in case you want to go through it and read more details, you can just review it, or you want to share with someone in the community. Yeah. Um, yeah, let me share my screen. Okay. Mm. Mm. Um, Hope that you can see my screen. Good. Okay. So yes, the today's session is the session 17, which is a default developer environment for Cardano. This is especially not. We do have we'll have the recording session after this session. So if you want you watch the video, you just come in this folder. For now, we don't have it yet, so we'll record and have it by tomorrow, I think. And so, yeah, the main question is if a new developer wanted to build on Cardano today, what environment should we recommend first by default? So, that's the main question people are facing, especially for new developers. They don't really know where to start. Of course, you really need to understand the fundamentals. Um, if you really need to understand the fundamentals, and again, before you reach this step, you need to maybe go and read or understand the developer pathway. I think we do have it here somewhere. Developer deep dive, Cardano developer pathway. Is it this one? Yes. So before you reach the step of start building, you need to understand the full Cardano developer pathway. I think we had a session about this. It might be session 12. So let me just go very quickly. So this is a very full overview of how is the developer pathway looks like in Cardano. So where to start, and you choose many things. So okay, at the end, you need to build and become maybe a maintainer in Cardano ecosystem. Okay. So, but today now we want to see, we want to understand. Now you want to start building. Now you want the node. You want to simulate transactions. Where to start? Which environment to choose, and why to choose it? So our first concern is the first 30 minutes of a developer spend like I mean the first 30 minutes a developer spent with Cardano shape with defined if a developer will stay or not. Like if in the first 30 minutes, I will know if it's good to start building on Cardano or not. Because if I spend like one day looking for a specific thing, I may stop and just switch. So we need to really understand if I am a new developer and I'm trying to understand or to choose a specific environment to start building on in Cardano, which one to choose exactly. So this is a general overview. So a new developer here, day one, the question is which environment do we recommend? So the first one, the first option, we have three options. So let me start first here. We need to understand that a developer wants something very fast to start. So in first minute, not in hours. So in the first minute, you want to start something. So something very fast, realistic enough. So the behavior, like the network that the DApp will eventually like keep on. Like it must be something very realistic to the main node. So, for example, if you are trying to simulate a transaction, the transaction must exactly look the same as the mainnet transaction. Reset friendly, easy to wipe and start over without losing courage. So you need to be able to reset and restart very quickly without like spending a lot of time, a lot of resources. Yeah, so it must be something I want to start now. Now I can just start the node and you start building. And when I'm finishing today, for example, I need to stop it and restart tomorrow. So path forward. Graduating production should not require throwing away that what you learned. Like it must be something from the dev version to the production. It must be the same. I mean, so it must be something almost the same with the production version. So as I was here, I said we have mostly three main options. So I'll zoom in. So the first one is the local DevNet, which I usually recommend. For me, for example, Yasi DevNet, DevKit, with one simple command, you'll have the node running in your local computer. And again, we have this, we have the session, we had the session about Yasi DevKit, how to set it up and how you can use it. Because it provides you more options of how to develop on Cardano using this. We also have Cardano Node DevNet, which is almost a DevNet. So it's like a full node running on your computer, in your computer, I mean. The second option is hosted providers. And like hosted providers like Blockfrost, it's an open source for testing. You don't need to pay anything. So you have Blockfrost, you have Maestro, you have Koios. You can use one of the three. That helps you to start in the first second. But we'll see in details why can I choose this instead of this, or why can I choose this instead of the last one. We also have one-click sandbox. Those are mostly Dockers, so containers. So if you know how to use Dockers, you can have a full node in a single container or a dev container and Dockers. After that, we also have something which escape the three options, but directly lead you to the self-hosted node. So self-hosted node, you can do a self-hosted preview or pre-prod or mainnet node. So you have the node, you host it in your server, for example, and you'll have ability to do any test using this node. But passing through this, you lead here. It will lead you here directly to, after this step, you'll pass here to the public testnet or public testnet, which is preview and pre-prod. Okay. This is now the core discussion area. Let's talk about the local DevNet. This is public testnet. So here we have Aspect. We do have here local DevNet, and the last one will be public. So we'll be comparing the two. About time, startup time. When we are talking about DevNet, it's a second. First command, you have the node running in your local machine. We did in our open source summit, we did a test where we ran the Yasito dev kit. It was in 5 minutes, we had the API, Explorer, validator, node, and very many wallet addresses, and found you can do everything in the first second. So compared to the public testnet like preview and pre-prod, depend on sync time. So this, for example, pre-prod takes like almost, I can say, 1 week, 4 to 1 week, I can say, depending on your speed internet. It can go up to 7 days. Realism. When it comes for realism, so when we are talking about this, we mean something really, really, really near the production version. So for DevNet, it's really low. So if you want something really near the production version, this is mostly for testing. So one node, sometimes no protocol, and not good parameters. But here for testnet, they are really high and real consensus and real timing. So you have very pre-production node running. Reset cost. So this is a very, it doesn't cost you anything to reset. But here, it's really painful to reset and redeploy the preview and pre-prod. If you know, preview and pre-prod are being redeploy and like they reset it sometimes. Mostly preview more than pre-prod because the pre-prod is more stable than preview. So if you're using preview, is less stable than the pre-prod. We also have the offline work. So yeah, if you're using local DevNet, you don't really need internet. But here you can't use it without internet because you are relying on a public public testnet node. So you definitely need internet. Okay. We have collaboration hard because you have the node running in your machine, so it's hard to work in a team with it unless you redeploy it somewhere. Very long process. But with the public testnet, easier because you share the state. We have the CLI, but the CLI is excellent and possible, but slow because this is again a public. So I don't know if here you do have any question because this gives you a general overview of why local DevNet and why public testnet. I don't know if there is any question about this or we can proceed. If you have any question, you can just react or even drop the message in the session, in the comment section. Yes. Compare the main options. So we had 3 main options. We have the local DevNet, we had the public testnet, and we had the hosted providers. So let's now focus on local DevNet. What works well for the local DevNet? First of all, fast iteration loop. You can start, stop, restart at any time. You have the full control. You work offline. Easy reset, what I said before, and great for CLI. So if you want to automate a script for CLI, if you want to test stuff, very, very fast because you have it. You don't need anything like internet or any issues of delay. So what doesn't really work well doesn't reflect the real network conditions like mempools, propagations, see under load. We also have additional setup complexity because you need to set those parameters locally like Dockers, ports, and schemas. And the last one is possible parameter drift from this must be differ from the public network. So you can have a DevNet which is quite different to the parameter the DevNet you are using with a parameter which is quite different to the main and the production node like mainnet. So you choose this local DevNet when you want to, for example, develop an SDK, validator or contract unit, plus integration testing, rapid prototyping, CLI pipelines. So if you want to do this kind of development, you can choose local DevNet. So okay, I'm building an SDK. I want to understand, I want to have something running locally in my machine. So I'll just use local DevNet. Or if I want to do a rapid prototype, just to see how it will look like or how it reacts with the blockchain, you use the local DevNet. So let's go to the public testnet, like preview and pre-prod. So what works well with the pre-prod and preview? When I'm working on something which will be used in the production, like can you share this? Okay, okay, no problem. I can share the session. I don't know if you want the link, but yeah, this is the link of the session. If you want, if most of the time when I'm building something which will go live on mainnet, I use public testnet, because mostly I use preprod, because preprod is a very stable version of the node, and it reflects exact parameters with mainnet. So to switch from preprod and to mainnet, it's only about like one parameter, preprod and mainnet. You don't need to change anything from this. But here again, sometimes they reset the node. Some parameters are not really updates. So yeah, this is also good, but this is a very, very good node environment to work on it if you want to switch from the development to the production directly. So what works well? Real consensus, real block time, real fee market. Closer to the production behavior, as I was said previously. Shared ecosystem state, other devs contract you can interact with. So if, for example, your project is going to interact with smart contracts, so you can find other contracts. And we also have easier collaboration and demos. So you can collaborate with other people using the preprod and demos. Why demos? Because you can demonstrate a transaction everywhere. Like when you're doing a demo, you need to send to someone and someone will need to receive maybe. So if you have it in your local machine, for example, for DevNet, it's quite difficult to do such a demos and very easier way to do it with preprod, for example. What doesn't really work with the public testnet? For set dependencies. So you need to request, for example, if you want to deal with 1 million ADA token, for example, test token, I mean. First of all, we have a rate limit of 10,000 T ADA daily, which limits you, and downtime. So you need maybe to wait until, or maybe you request a team inside to see if you can get the more faucet. So if you are working, you need more faucet, one day you can't get it. You really depend on the rate limit and downtime. Occasionally network instability, mostly for preview and less for pre-prod, sometimes yes. But we also have slower feedback loop, epoch, and propagation. We have the last one, which is coordination complexity for teams. This is the question here: should preview become the default for newcomers? Do you think that the preview should be the default for newcomers? We'll have the answer maybe at the end. The last one, which was hosted providers. So this is, for example, if you know BlockFrost or Maestro or Koios, they give you APIs where you can interact with the blockchain directly without having any issue of, for example, connecting the testnet in your local machine, waiting until you see. Again, here preprod, you need to install it locally, but it should take up to from 4 to 7 days to have the real blockchain working full sync state in your local machine. So, you know, even if we are talking about pre-prod here, if you want to use it locally, you need to wait until, and then when you stop the node and you restart the node, you need the node to resync first, because there was new epochs, new transactions that need to be synced before you continue doing your simulation. So it's very heavy to most of the time, if I know that I will use preprod in my local machine for 2 weeks, I will keep it running 24 hours and internet with internet. So working with this locally, it's quite heavier. That's why we will have you'll see the difference between the public testnet and the hosted providers. Here, you don't need to install anything in your local machine. You'll have like APIs and URLs where you'll be interacting with the blockchain directly without having the node locally in your local machine. So what works well with the hosted providers, like fast onboarding. So as I said, you don't need to install anything, no infra, no management. So you don't need to manage anything locally. Manage reliability and indexing. So you have all the data directly, very easily. They give you API where you can request transaction data very, very quickly. You have less operational, this is burden. I don't know this word. I'm sorry. I'll come to it after. So strong UX for newcomers. Why strong UX? Because this helps you to start directly, no friction, no problems. Directly from the API, you can interact with the blockchain without having any issue. So you see what works well with the hosted providers. Different problem with the different advantages to the public testnet. And what doesn't really work well, centralization concern. You depend on block frost, okay? If block frost is down, okay, your project won't work. You can't test, you can't deploy, you can't do anything. So you depend on some kind of company or organization. Paid dependency. When you reach such a kind of, I think there is a limitation of free usage. So once you reach the limit, for example, daily limit or monthly limit, you need to pay. So here we have the second problem, paid dependency past the free tiers. So if you pass the free tiers, you start now paying, and those are extra payments a new developer can't really cover very quickly and for just testing. Abstract infrastructure knowledge that become important later. Okay, this is a very good information. So when you are using this, the reason why we use this is to build fast, but you'll escape very important thing. Let me come back here very quickly. You'll see why. I'm coming back here in the developer pathway. Okay, let me open the session Q1, 12, I think. Session note. Okay, this was it. So when we go back here, you can see all path here leads you to Cardano fundamentals and UTXO native tokens or Borus. So you need to learn you need to learn about what the fundamentals about Cardano. So every single path. If you are passing by UX, you need to learn. If you are passing by complete beginner, you need to learn. If you are passing by Web3, Web2 developers, if you're coming from Web2 developer, you need to learn first. Unless you know, then you can escape. If you don't know, it's better to understand to learn. So that's even why the recommendation is to first understand why I'm using this. So if you are using directly this, it kind of API, you are just find it online. You don't even know how it works. They just told you, okay, if you do this, you generate a transaction. But as a developer, you need to understand when I'm generating a transaction, what is happening behind the scene, how the node is interacting with my command line here. But again, this is only depending on you and how you want to learn to understand how the transaction works behind. We also have the rate limit, can mask real world and TX behaviors. I've said it here, so you can't really understand the transaction itself, how the project interacted with the with the with the blockchain. So the last one, which was like it was kind of we escaped the three, but it leads you to something like self-hosted node. So if you have your own node, you have now the full control. Like you have you can do anything because you don't have problem of like synchronization. For example, here you have a full network understanding because you deploy it. If you deploy it, so you understand the node, you understand how it works, how to deploy, how to set up the full node. So we have the you can simulate the production releases because you are interacting with you are directly interacting with something which is hosted. It can even be the mainnet node or testnet, but I don't think this is for newcomers. But we just give options. That's why the three first options was kind of the best fit for newcomers, but this not really unless you have a very good knowledge about how to set up a node, then you can directly pass here. And for newcomers, I don't see any need to directly self-hosted nodes, unless again you have a very specific uh, need to use with that node. So align with Cardano's decentralization. When you self-hosted, so you contribute on numbers of nodes working in the network, and yeah, this is the best way to show the decentralization value because you interact with your node, but you are not interacting with other nodes. That's how the decentralization works. But problems, we have heavy setup. You need sync time. You need very good storage. You need RAM, a very good RAM in your server. You need to maintain the node and hardware resources requirements. So you need to pay for a server online, which can be very expensive sometimes. We have this option of Dockerize. So last time again in our session of Open Source Summit, we had Harun. It was Harun. I think Harun is here, who presented a node in a Docker. I think so.
Yes, that's correct.
Exactly. So when you are using a node in a Docker, for me, it's one of the best way also. But that gives you or add you a level of knowledge or a level of learning before setting this environment, because you need first to understand how the Docker works and how to set it up and how to optimize, because Docker sometimes take a lot of like resources. So yeah, this is for those who already know how to set up Docker, and this will become quite easier for them because they are, it's something they are not going to learn again. They know how to set up Docker. So it kind of, you have the node in a single container and everything happening behind. I don't know if you have heard or you you have used once Docker. So how Docker works is you can have the project, like the front end, the back end, the database working in a single container. It's like a machine like in your computer. So it's like a virtual machine. I can say virtual machine, but it's not a virtual machine. So it contains everything inside, and you'll just have like port exposing some data. So the recommended, what we recommended for hour zero. So for very, 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 very newcomer, you can go one click playground. If for now, I think I don't know if we do have this one, but if you want to set up something in 1 hour, you can go with local DevNet because in less than 20 minutes last time we set up something with everything. So if you have 1 to 7 days, you can set up a preview testnet, hosted providers, hosted providers for on-chain read. If you have 2 weeks, you can set up preview plus self-hosted node, introduce like Ogmoyos and Kupo. And after that, you can now go to pre-mainnet and pre-prod, full infra mirror of production, and the last one, mainnet. Most of the time, if you know how to use those 4, you can directly start building here. Most of the time, for me, I start building here. Again, I'm not new in Cardano. I've spent 5 years. So for newcomers, it kind of, how can I interact with the pre-prod directly? So he will just, it's like they drop you in a desert. You don't know where to go. So the first thing is to start here, or even here if you can find one. I think we do have one in Cardano, but I will need to check. But this one, again, we have a lot of options, Dockers and the ERC Dev Kit and many other node testing. So from this, from 1 hour, you can start building here and understand. The good thing here, you can make every mistake, you can reset. After making a mistake or you don't understand, you can just read and reset and restart and stop. No problem of waiting, no problem of internet. You don't need to work in collaboration. You set and reset at any time. So when you're comfortable here, you can now try to set up a preview version. I set up my first preview version, I think in 2022. It was very, very hard. I was not understanding anything. I was not understanding parameters. But when you are ready to understand this and you understand how it works and you've built, you've set it up in your local machine, now you are ready to go here. After this, you are ready to go in mainnet, but to make sure that you did it well and your project is working very well, you can now go to pre-prod. You don't even need to directly use it in your local machine. You can use Block Frost directly with pre-prod. So you already know how it works. You just want to test it with real nodes. And then the last one will be the mainnet. Mainnet means no mistake, no you understand what you've built behind and how your project is interacting with the mainnet node. So yes, I think we are at the end of our presentation. I'd like to understand if you totally understand what we presented today, and if you have any question or add-on, we are here for that. Thank you. Yes, Oliver. Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you more again for this wonderful presentation. I have two questions. The first one, I don't know if it will be related mainly to this topic. But I want to ask, for example, if I I want to know if it's a good behavior, because I tried it, but I don't know if it can be good or bad. So, for example, I have a project on Blockfrost. Yeah, let's say it's on pre-prod, and I'm building like two different products, but all of them in pre-prod. So I don't know if it's advisable to use a same project ID from Blockfrost to for these two projects. I don't know if you got me well.
I'm not so sure to understand, but your question is if you have, for example, a project ID on Blockfrost and you want
Yes.
to use it in two different projects, right?
Yes.
For me, there is no problem. The said problem you can have is rate limit, but there is no conflict because you are still in the test version. The project ID is only to identify one project and the limit rate. Because when you have, for example, two projects and you want to understand which project is generating a lot of like transactions, you can't see it if you are using one project ID in two projects. So for testing, you can use the same project ID for so many projects, like 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. There is nowhere in the transaction they will mention a project ID. The project ID is like API ID. It's where you'll get your unique API ID because Blockfrost gives you only one project ID for test. So once you reach the rate limit, you need to maybe pay or you reduce or remove one project or something, but I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So another question, I don't know if I've not get you well. So I don't know, is it possible to switch from local DevNet to, let's say, preview or preprod? Yeah.
Yes, it's possible, but it really depends on how. For example, if you want to switch from local DevNet, you were using CLI, okay? Your project was, for example, interacting with, let's say, Python with CLI. It's not very easier to switch if you want to use, for example, hosted project like Blockfrost. But if you want to switch from DevNet to preview, for example, and the preview project will be locally installed, so you have the node running on your local machine, it's possible because almost the same command. You'll maybe have some very small issues, but I don't think that it's something, it's a big deal. But switching from preview, from DevNet to preview, it's easier if you have the same environment and you set the same configuration. So if you're using CLI in your local DevNet and you want to switch to preview, you need to install the preview node locally in your local machine, and then you just change maybe parameters like port and stuff like that. But you won't change the CLI because we'll be using the same Cardano CLI, Cardano addresses. So it's almost the same, almost the same command line you'll be using in both node. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? We still have time. We still have 16 minutes. So ask any question. We are here for that. Feel free. And again, I know that you are speaking English, but in case you want to ask your question in French, feel free to ask it. So I'll maybe explain to other people what you requested as a question, and then I'll give the answer in case, because I know some people here in French community. Yes, I'm still here. Any question or add-on, not only question, if you have any recommendation or anything to add on top of what I've presented, you feel free.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be about this, just anything general about Cardano.
Yeah, exactly. Not only exactly this session, you can ask anything generally about Cardano. Thank you, Harold, for that. Yeah. Okay. Nothing to add. Okay, so the presentation was very clear. And again, if you still have a question after this session, you can still like reach out. You can just go to the GitHub. You'll have our like availability here. So for example, we have Uche, Emmanuel, Dan, and Harun. So each of the 4 people here, you can just request a call, one-to-one call for anything about Cardano and development. So you just go here, you'll just see the calendar of the developer advocate, and you request. By requesting, you need to give your name, and then you need to choose a time. Every developer advocate has its calendar, so you can like choose, okay, I want to go with Uche, or if you go with Harun or me, you'll just choose Harun or me. So yeah, we'll have time to discuss almost 1 hour, maybe. It will depend on what we are discussing, but yeah. One more thing is about, we have the Luma session. Mostly it's for French-speaking communities. If you, as an English speaker, you are really interested, feel free to request. I know Harun is here. We can still run the same session in English. The thing is, we'll be talking about how to set up an AI and start building a smart contract we'll do the live coding with people. So we'll start from configuration to the deployment of the smart contract, and we'll test it with the real testnet. We'll make sure that we have something running like an escrow or anything using an AI without anything. You just need to understand how it works, and then we'll build everything. I'll be explaining how to build and what it does, and how to see if it's okay, and how to deploy using AI. So that's what we are going to do. We now have almost 41 people. So if you request the same session, I'll discuss. And Harun is here. So if you request to do the same session in English, we'll organize it with Harun or other developer advocate to see if we can do the same workshop in English too. What else? For session, if every day we used to send the calendar and the links. If you want to have the calendar in your all the sessions in your calendar, you just come here, dev session. Okay, there is a question. Yes, H Pro.
Yeah. Good evening again, and thank you for the nice presentation. I just wanted to ask you maybe to also be sharing a place where people can go and learn. You know, sometimes others are coming, you are explaining where to start everything, but they don't know really where can I get such a thing or that playground, things like that. I think having some links might also help people getting in onboarding so fast. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, H Pro. So we do have our very first sessions. I think we had to present a very first step for newcomers, and for this one, you'll have many links. For example, for core Cardano node and core infrastructure, you have the links here. Smart contract and smart contract development, you have here. Developer tools and SDK, we have them here. So this developer experience, if you go through it, you'll have kind of all resources for Cardano. So it will be redirecting you where you want to go. For example, you want to see official documentation. We have like here developer.cardano.org, which is the main portal for Cardano developers. So I think I do recommend you, if you are new here, and you want to, you are like, this is my first day, I want to understand where to start, you can like just go through it, and you can see we do have how to guide. Like we have advanced, beginners, and intermediaries. If you go here, you will have like kind of documentation, which will mostly be redirecting you to the right place to find stuff. We have essentials tools here, doc.i images. You can see, as I was saying, you can have the node directly here. Data list if you want a full node wallet for testing locally. So you'll just download it here. So thank you again, Xprof, to mention it. We'll maybe be repeating this at the end of every session, so newcomers can understand that if they want to start, they will have all information in this portal. And this is only one link I show you, but again, as I was showing you previously, you can see here with the developer full pathway, we have all links here. So it helps you to say, okay, I want to go to, for example, NAMI, or if you find here, okay, I want to, for example, see what, for example, Cardano fundamentals. Okay, I want to go, it directly send you here. So you can read Cardano, fundamentals. So that's how you can get more information about where to start and how to start. And again, if you still have frictions and problems, you can just reach out. We do have one-to-one sessions, so we'll help you. Feel really free. This is a community where we speak. We can, like, if you speak French, I'll be there. If you speak English, we have 3 other developer advocates. They do speak English, so some of our one-to-one call are in French. So yeah, if you want to speak in French, in English, even in Swahili, we do have Harun here speaking Swahili too. Yes. Thank you, guys. I think we are at the end of this session. Thank you for being here, and we are here to help you. And if you have any question, any suggestion, feel free to reach out in Discord or by requesting a call to Develop Advocate. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dan. Very good class. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yes, Sami.
Okay, thank you, coach. Thank you. I forgot, just I wanted to ask something. I'm just asking if there are some videos to watch about TV experience, or just things are written on the website.
So we do have, we do record all the session, all the developer advocate session. So if, for example, you want to watch the kickoff like video, you can just go to the folder of the kickoff session, and let me share with you the link. So you'll have the video recorded. So that's how it works. So after this session, for example, tomorrow we'll have the video recorded on YouTube, and from YouTube you can watch. So if you like, you are not able to join a specific session, you can just go and look for it. I've just shared uh, the video recording, how it looks like, so you can like have the full session recorded and you can watch it at any time.
Okay, thank you, coach. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.
Okay, you're welcome. I have another personal question about the background behind you, because I'm seeing many books